What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I hope y'all had a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all got to get good with your family, eat some good food, and get it on your stomach. But we going straight back to business. We right back on it. And today I want to talk about single mothers again. Because what a lot of y'all don't realize, okay, is that most single mothers did not pick to be single mothers. I know it sounds like cap when they say it, but it's really not. Most single mothers are single mothers because they were trapped. Now, let me tell you guys something. If you watch this channel a lot, you'll realize I don't have a lot of respect or sympathy for baby daddies. I don't. In my opinion, baby fathers are automatically low value men, and they're not real men. Because at the end of the day, if you get a woman pregnant and she doesn't get that abortion and she decides to have that kid, if you were a real man, you would do one of two things. You would marry that woman and make the family work, or you would get custody of your kid and you would find a wife who you actually want to step up and be the mom figure for that kid and build your family. Only a bum would say, hey, look, I'm just going to pay child support. I don't want to be involved. Only a bum would say, I'm going to have 50-50 custody and allow you to put me on child support. I'm going to just get my kids on the weekend. That's how I see it. That's how I've always seen it. There's no point in having a child with a woman you don't plan on being with. There's no point in making another broken family because we know what that does. Okay, but let me talk to you guys about something that a lot of channels, okay, male empowerment channels won't say this because they know a lot of their subscribers are baby fathers, so they're scared. They're going to unsubscribe. They're not going to like it. Over here, we tell the truth. We don't care. Let me tell you something. No high value man, okay, or no man who's worth anything will ever end up a baby father. I want you guys to think about successful dudes, all right? I want you guys to think about the Donald Trumps of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Warren Buffetts, the LeBron James, okay, the Chris Pauls, the Tom Bradys, okay, the Denzel Washingtons, whoever you look at as successful. How many of these men are baby fathers? Exactly. None of them are baby fathers. And then a lot of times, even if you do look at the men who are in the upper echelon of society and they do have a baby mama, guess what they usually do? They go out there and find them a high value woman to step into the life of this kid and play the mom role. See, again, like I said, only a bum dude will really become a baby father. Now, I'm not completely excluding the women, but we got to pay attention here. What age are women usually when they become single mothers? Let's look at that. Usually they're high school, college, or they're under the age of 24, 26. Guys, you got to realize something. Okay, when women are under the age of 24, 26, life's all about fun for them, okay? They're at their peak fertility. They're about as attractive as they're ever going to be, okay? And they live with their parents or they live on campus. So they don't have a need to date dudes for money. So what do young girls usually date dudes for? Clout and good D. How many times do y'all hear young dumb chicks say, oh, my baby father got good D. Oh, he got a big D and he know how to use it. Blah, blah, blah. You'll never hear a grown woman saying stuff like that because she understands the value of having an actual good man, having a man with a future, having a man with his life together because she's been through something. But young girls, like I said, they just chasing clout, they chasing bad boys, and they chasing good D. So what ends up happening with young girls, okay? Now, these dudes who usually knocks girls up, who usually becomes baby dads, we say it all the time, the Chaz, the Tyrones, the Enriques, blah, blah, blah. These are usually low value men who spend all their time on the corner, like I said, selling low value drugs like weed, not making much money, but $200 is a lot of money to a young chick. So he's sliding her like $200 or something. She think that's a lot. She can go and buy a book with it. She can do what she need to do because she does not have any real bills. But let me tell you guys something that these dudes know. These dudes who these low level drug dealing dudes, these dudes who work at Target, these dudes who work at Walmart, these dudes who ain't in trade school, these dudes who ain't in college, these dudes who ain't opening no business, they know what they are. They know they're a low value man. Okay, and men are usually a little bit older than women because women tend to date up and they tend to date older dudes because they think they're more mature than they are. So you got this 26-year-old dealing with this 21-year-old, or you got this 22-year-old street dude dealing with this 19-year-old girl. So he's more mature than her and she just doesn't realize it. He knows he's winning. He's like, look, she's super bad. She's in her prime. She's fertile. She's in school. He's thinking, I'm going to go ahead and knock her up so that way I can always come back to her because at the end of the day, he probably done already been to jail. You understand what I'm saying to you? At the end of the day, he done probably already messed up his life, already messed up his record. He knows his ceiling's not that high, but her ceiling has no limit. So in his head, I'm going to get her right now while she's young and dumb and stuck off of this good D, and I'm going to go ahead and knock her up so that way if I can't do any better, I can just come back to her. A lot of dudes use their baby mothers as a fallback plan. Dudes say all the time and talk all the time about, oh, how a girl trapped them this and a girl trapped them that, and that's not to say that it didn't happen, but a lot of dudes trap women too as a fallback plan, especially low-level street dudes, because most women are not dealing with high-level street dudes. They're dealing with low-level street dudes, okay? They're not making that much money. So what happens is they get pregnant. Now, a real man, if he didn't want the baby, like I said, he would pay for the abortion or talk about the abortion or he would just step up, okay? So the woman tells the dude she's pregnant and he fills her ears with lies. I'm telling you guys the truth. He usually goes, oh, the Walmart, the Target dude, like I said, the low value dude, Chad, the Tyrone, the street dude. He usually is going to be like, oh, okay, baby, we going to make this work. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to step up. We going to make this work. Blah, 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 blah. And this is what happens. Women fall in love with what they hear, not actions or what they see. So she believes him. She has this baby. Now she has the baby. Now guess what? A 1-bedroom apartment is not enough. Now you need a 2-bedroom apartment because the baby's got to have a room. So guess what? You cannot stay at your mom's house a lot of the times, or you cannot stay on your dorm a lot of times. Your parents going to want you to get your own place. So now guess what you need? More money. Now $200 isn't cutting it when you have to get a $1,200 place because you need a 2-bedroom. Now $200 isn't cutting it when daycare costs $300 a week. Now she got a real life. Now she got real bills. So what happens? Now she wants you off that corner. Now she wants you to go get a real job. Now she doesn't want you at Walmart. Now she doesn't want you at Target. Now she does not care about your good deed anymore because now she's in survival mode because she has a kid and she has to take care of the kid. And guess what happens? He's not going to do that. He's going to stay in the streets, or he's going to stay at his low value job. He's going to keep being the same person he was. So now she has a choice to make. She can either take care of him and take care of the kid, or she can go out here and she can try to look for a man to save her from the situation she's in. This is why I don't get mad at baby moms. I understand that it's goofy. I understand that a lot of times they get taught not to be in a situation. A lot of times, especially the dude had another baby mama, they'll tell him not to do it. We'll tell them not to do it. But again, women fall in love with what they hear, not what they see. So a lot of them were manipulated. A lot of them were tricked. A lot of them were sold a dream. We see dudes in the red pill and all this stuff all the time talking about selling women a dream. Okay, so a lot of these dudes made the woman feel comfortable, made her young dumb ass feel like, hey, I'm going to step up. Hey, I'm going to take care of you. And then he did the bait and switch on her when the kid comes. This is why I don't understand why there's such an attack on young single mothers or young mothers. I understand why it's not the best place for a man to be, especially if he doesn't have any kids. But this is why I tell you guys all the time, I'm not necessarily against dating single mothers. She just has to work harder than the regular woman would have to work. Whereas most women, I would say, you can come into my kingdom in my castle, right? You can quit your job and you can basically just be the housewife. With a single mom, she gonna have to work a little harder. Yeah, you're gonna be a housewife, but I might want you to have a part-time job, because at the end of the day, when your son wants some sneakers, I'm not buying them. When your son needs some books or whatever the case may be, I'm not buying them. He wants a game, I'm not buying them. Your daughter wants something, I'm not buying it. They're going to have to be in my life for a certain amount of time before I'm willing to spend any money on them. So you're going to need a part-time job so you can take care of your kids to the point where I'm comfortable. But the reason I don't hate on single moms is because I understand it. She has to be serious now. She has to ask you what you do for work. She has to say, are you looking for marriage, or are you looking to be in a long-term relationship? Because she can't play anymore, because her play years was stolen by the bum street dude, by the Target dude, by the Walmart dude, by Chad, Enrique, Tyrone. Her good years were stolen by that. So now she's forced to go into survival mode and look to be taken care of. This is why I don't have a problem with her. This is what you guys don't understand. This is why I have a problem with baby fathers, because I know at the end of the day, most baby fathers pick these women because they were thinking, this is my fallback plan. If nothing else works out, if I can't step up my grind in the streets, you get what I'm saying? If I can't get another or a higher value woman, I'm just going to get back with my baby mama and she'll take care of me. Why do you think they always get so upset when she does find another man? They try to ruin it. Now they want to be in their son's lives. How many times do we see that? Another man comes around. Well, I don't want no other man around my son. Well, guess what? You wouldn't have to worry about another man being around your son if you took your son, if you got custody of your son. You wouldn't have to worry about another man being around your son if you married your baby mama. But they're not going to do that because they aren't real men. And they want to run off the other man because that's their fallback plan. Their fallback plan is, if nothing else works out, if I can't get my life together, I'm going to just come and live off of this girl who I knocked up who was in college. I'm going to come and live off this girl who can get a real job because she doesn't have a record. That's his plan. And I don't respect that. That's not masculine. So at the end of the day, you guys got to realize, again, I'm not telling you to date single mothers. I understand why, especially if you don't have a kid, you might not want to date single mothers. But I also understand a lot of single mothers really are good women. They were just young and dumb and they got caught up. Okay, this is why I tell you guys I'm not against dating them. You just have to make them do a little bit more to prove themselves, because they're bringing baggage to the situation. If you're bringing baggage to the situation, you're going to have to work a little harder to get out of it. You're not just going to come and get a free meal ticket and escape plan. Nah, you're going to have to cook, you're going to have to clean, and you're going to have to work, because you're going to have to show that you're worth it because you made this goofy decision. But what a lot of you guys don't understand, you automatically put it all on the women. Oh, she was out here messing with these low value dudes and da-da-da. Listen, we mess with thoughts when we young. Okay, we just, again, if you see a future for yourself in your life, you're just not going to knock a woman up because you already know what that's going to do and what it's going to take away from you. But a lot of these dudes who don't see a future for themselves, they don't really see themselves going anywhere in life. They don't care. They'll knock these girls right up. And that's the difference. So that's what I want you guys to understand. Most single mothers really were trapped. A lot of them are solid women that you can build with and that you can help, you know what I'm saying, start a little family or whatever the case may be with. Okay, again, this is why I don't say don't date them. This is why I say just make them do a little bit of extra steps. But I think we need to understand there's nothing good about being a baby father. You cannot be a real man and a baby father at the same time. If you was a real man, get your kid. If you was a real man, co-parent. Or just get your kid, period. I said get your kid, period, so you can move on and find a wife to help have more kids and to help foster your kid, and she can move on and find her a man, because we all know most men aren't going to date a woman with kids. But we know that, and that's why the baby fathers leave the woman with the kid, because they know most dudes aren't going to date a woman with a kid, especially when she doesn't have a man around. And that's her backup plan. So I just wanted to get that out there really quick. One side of the story is often told, but the other side is not. No, I don't bang with baby daddies. I don't support baby daddies. And my message to baby daddies is to get your kid or you're not a real man. That's simply how I look at it. A bare minimum, you should be co-parenting, but I think that's stupid because you're usually going to end up on child support in that case. But if you're on child support, there's probably a reason. I don't want to hear you crying and whining about it. You're probably on child support because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And at the end of the day, if you didn't knock up a woman that you didn't love, you wouldn't be in that situation. We keep it real over here. We tell the truth. I'm Alex. I'm out. Peace.